What up, everybody? Good morning. I just want to throw a quick video together, which is a little off topic of things that I normally talk about, but I've been thinking about posting a video and providing some information, and this has to do with firearms. I don't know how many people who watch my videos or subscribe to my channel are supporters of the Second Amendment, or supporters of firearms, or own firearms, or are enthusiasts. But a little fun fact about me: I am. I'm not like fanatical or anything about it, but I do own multiple firearms, and I like to spend some of my free time going out to the range and seeing some trigger time. It's been a while since I've done that, though, just because I've been hoarding ammunition, and inflation, things are so expensive that the few thousand rounds that I have, I'm just holding on to them right now. But I want to talk a little bit about ARs, or, as they like to be called, assault rifles. Big scary word here. California, that's a state that I live in. I'm sure most of you know this, but we have some pretty harsh gun laws, probably the harshest gun laws in the nation. And I have Wikipedia page up here just for reference, but for the longest we were allowed to have the same guns as the rest of the country was allowed to have. There were no restrictions, magazine bans, featureless rifles, all that nonsense that we have to deal with nowadays. But somewhere along the way, we decided to vote people into office that wanted to strip us of our rights, and slowly but surely they've been doing that. So there is first there's a ban on high capacity magazines, which are for your pistols, 17 round magazines, your 30 round magazines, and then for your rifles or your long guns, everything's basically just been relegated to 10 rounds, whether it's a pistol or a rifle. So that sucks, because their definition of high capacity is standard capacity everywhere else in the country and pretty much in the world. So that shitty law came into effect, I want to say 2016, and then most recently in 2018 they really started to strip away our rights and came up with what's known as featureless rifles. And if you guys don't know what featureless rifle is, basically here it says any gun with a bullet button, pistol grip, flash suppressor, and folding stock is considered an assault weapon, according to California formal resignation in 2018, July 1st. So mandatory, you have to register your rifle, and then now if you didn't own one prior to that date, if you do buy a big bad scary assault rifle, it now has to be featureless. And featureless, what does that mean? It says a featureless rifle in California is one that does not have any of the following: pistol grip, thumb hole stock, telescoping or a folding stock, flash hider. I mean, this is ridiculous. Grenade or flare launcher. Like, who the fuck has a grenade launcher on their fucking rifle if you're not in the military? That's pretty hilarious. And forward pistol grip. So if you're new to all this and you don't know what these things are, I have my rifle here to demonstrate what the fuck they're talking about. So here's the big bad scary assault rifle. Well, they're talking about a forward pistol grip, right? So one of the things they're talking about is this. This is your forward pistol grip. Some of them are like vertical ones where you hold them like that. Mine is more of a front one on the end. It's a little bit more comfortable to hold. Pistol grip. This is your pistol grip right here. It's called a pistol grip. Why? Because it looks like a pistol. So these are all big no-nos. This is not considered a featureless rifle. This is a standard rifle anywhere else in the country. And then one of the other things that I have is the folding stock, the telescoping stock. So all these things are big bad no-nos. You can't have any of these things unless, the big unless is you have a fixed magazine, meaning when you insert the magazine into the rifle, your mag release button here, they've engineered it to where once it's locked in place, the only way you can drop your magazine, release it, and put a new one in is if you completely separate the upper from the lower, and that's what a fixed magazine rifle is. So if you have a fixed rifle, you can have all the scary features, you know, the forward grip, the pistol grip, telescoping, all that stuff. As long as your magazine's fixed, meaning you can't drop it. You have to literally disassemble the rifle to release your magazine. It's ridiculous. So in a situation where you need to reload and reload quickly, having to pull a pin here on this side and separate the upper from the lower to drop the magazine, by the time you do all that, you're dead. So I think it's pretty pointless. And the workaround that is to make it featureless. And that means that they have to put this ridiculous fin grip here on the pistol, and it makes you literally have to hold it like that. Like, you don't actually have a grip to where you're like making a fist on it. You're holding it in some weird, awkward, strange way. Plus you have recoil. They look ridiculous, and the functionality of them, I don't know. I've never shot one, but I know that with the fin grip, it allows you to have a featureless rifle, and then your magazine does not have to be fixed. So there is a guy that is a genius, an absolute genius, and he engineered this thing called the AR mag lock. And that's what I'm making my video about, is to educate people that are new to the rifle game in California and don't want to sacrifice the coolness and the functionality of their rifle just so that they can reload, more often. And the workaround that is the AR mag lock. And I know the guy makes them for AR-10s, AR-15s, pretty much any long gun. I'm sure he has them for other guns as well, 308s, whatever. But so what this guy did is he engineered this pin mechanism that you have installed on your rifle, that it allows you to separate the upper from the lower without having to take the rifle apart. And the way that this is done is, I'll show you here. On this side of the rifle here, this is there's a pin right here. And when you want to disassemble your gun to clean it, you pull this pin out, and that allows you to separate the upper from the lower, and then the upper part of the rifle angles down at like a 90-degree angle, and that's how you're able to bypass the mag lock and then remove your magazine. So what the AR mag lock does is, when you press in this pin, watch closely here, you push this button, and you see how it separates the upper from the lower? But it doesn't completely separate it. So I cannot pull my rifle down here and bend it like you normally would if there were just a regular pin in there. Now, what does this do? Well, first let me show you how easy it is to put it back in place. There's very little effort here. I'm just gonna pull down and it's already locked back in place. Why is that important? Because your magazine release, where the hell is it? I'm sorry. Magazine release is on the other side here. And what that does is, when you separate, I'll show you again, the upper from the lower, it allows you to push the magazine release button very effortlessly. And then when you've reloaded, you just put it back and boom, you're done. You're back in business here. So when this is closed, meaning the upper and the lower, this does what it's supposed to do. It prevents you from releasing the magazine. The way this thing works is there's a little bar in there that's pressing against the side of the rifle. So in essence, the magazine's fixed until you push the button on this side to separate the upper from the lower, like such. And now, once again, your mag release button now works. So let me show you real quick. I'll throw a magazine in here so you can see what this looks like when you have a mag. So the magazine is in the rifle, okay? I cannot push the mag release button. This magazine is in there. It is not going anywhere. And that meets all the state requirements for a fixed magazine rifle. the genius of this engineering and invention is when I push the button, the upper from the lower has been separated, the magazine comes out. I tap, boom, and I'm ready to go. Just like that. So, as you can see, clear, this design is amazing. It allows you to have all the big, bad, scary features of an assault rifle in the state of California. And granted, it's one extra step that we have to do that and a normal AR owner outside of California won't have to do, is pushing this extra button right here. But I mean, I can show you that adds maybe a second or two to your reload time. And I mean, unless you're professionally like competition shooting, does that really matter? Do you need that much? I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But for most average gun owners, it's not necessary. So I am a huge fan of this AR Maglock, and props to the guy that engineered and made this thing. And you can go on their website. That's what I did. I ordered the AR Maglock and I bought it online and I had it shipped to my house, and I took it to my local gun store and they did the gunsmithing for me. You can install it on your own. There is a video on YouTube that gives an entire demonstration. If you're really proficient with firearms and you know how to completely disassemble them and put them back together, then by all means, plus if you have the tool, I guess there's some sort of castle nut back here that you need a special tool to remove it in order to install the Kingpin. So I definitely would take it to your gunsmith or local gun store if you are not familiar with that. I took it to my local gun store, and since I bought this rifle from them, from that store, I think they charged me $20 to do the install. And if you buy a rifle from them, they now sell them and add them to their rifles at no extra charge, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's just my quick video here on the AR Maglock and the Kingpin. Once again, this is the Kingpin, the button. This is what's called the Kingpin, and then your Maglock is here on the side. You need to get both though, because if you have an existing magazine lock on this side, it doesn't have this little tiny, like, thin piece of metal that this one does, because that's what allows you to push in the button by sliding underneath the upper once you've released it. See, that slides underneath this part here. If you had your existing, magazine lock that's on here, it's not compatible. You have to get both. You have to get the Kingpin and you have to get their mag lock, because that's what allows you to do what it does. So yeah, that's it. It's pretty awesome, FYI, and that's it. All right, guys, take care.